So let's go there. Like Jen, I'll ask you, and then we'll flip it over to Tom. You guys created your own foundation, so you have the All Secure Foundation. How did that get started? And that's what originally caught my eye was this foundation. So where did that get started at?
So when I was working alongside Tom, again, I was working in special operation units for about 3.5, 4 years. And I just started asking the guys. I just started saying, hey, like, where do you need help? Because I was helping in some very small capacity to help them prepare for war and go over and fight a war. And I would see these teams come back, sometimes the third or fourth iteration. And it wasn't just that people weren't coming back. That's hard enough. But to see people that you knew 2 or 3 years before, and they're 28 years old and they look 40, and they just are so incredibly stressed out. They're going through their second divorce. And I learned about the suicide epidemic at that time, which honestly I thought was not true. I didn't think it was accurate, and it actually isn't accurate. It's much higher than 22 a day. It's probably closer to 38 a day. And when I learned about that, and Tom was losing friends left and right to suicide, and I wasn't seeing people die of combat. I was seeing, hey, Jim died. Hey, Bob died. Hey, Nick died. What happened? It was suicide, suicide, suicide. And I said, listen, somebody's got to help these soldiers come home, millions and billions of dollars to get them over there. And then I started asking them, how are you trained to deal with what you just did or saw? And everyone said, we don't do that. And I said, well, you have to do that. You have to train how to come back. And so we started All Secure Foundation, really born from our struggle as a couple, Tom's struggle with PTS, my struggle with PTS from a different source. And how can we as a couple fight this thing instead of me being against the Army, which is what you hear so much from spouses is, I hate this thing that takes my husband or wife away. I hate this thing that, robs us of time together as a family. And there's a lot of resentment, and that just tears apart relationships because, you've got this sailor or soldier that's like, I've always wanted to do this my whole life. This is what I'm built to do. This is what I want to do. And I feel completely and utterly torn between my family and this service. And so what we wanted to do is, hey, let's define the enemy as the enemy, which is who you're fighting. And you guys can fight that together as a unified front instead of fighting against each other. And the same thing with PTS. You can join together to fight it together versus trying to attack this thing individually. And there's far more success when the entire family is healing together than just one individual. So really All Secure was born of just talking to the guys, finding out where they needed help. And
well, there was magic. There was magic in her being on target, her being a female, right? And her being cute. And that, like the light, here come the bugs, right? On target guys all the time. They're going to come over here. And they would kind of crowd around her and I, and then she would talk and we would talk, and then she would ask questions. So she got on the inside of where people don't get, right? These guys started opening up, with me opening up, standing there, and then her being there and then opening up and her offering a different perspective. She got to see the inside that most people don't get to see, and they got to see something from the outside that they would have never gotten to see before. And so they liked it and they wanted more of it. And then it just kind of grew like, wow, who's this civilian that knows these things, or that just cares about us and listens? And then, oh, by the way, she knows somebody that I can talk to that knows more, that can help me. And oh, by the way, wow, I feel better. And then it just grew from there to where, had she not gotten on the inside like that, we would have kept her away like we do everyone else, like we had always done. We're fine on the inside here. Nobody's inside our bubble. She got inside that bubble and popped it from the inside. It exposed all of us for the shit that we were and the lies that we were telling about how healthy we were, and started calling us on our shit. And we all started getting better and liked it. So people were really interested in what she was doing, which was just kind of listening and loving, and being honest to that hard mom. Like, you're not eating out of a gas station. Stop eating out of a gas station. When we'd pull up to eat, she's like, no, we're going to go eat healthy food over here. And so we started eating healthy again. We started feeling better. We realized, oh, this stuff works a little bit.